In the heart of the world of combat, I find myself stepping into an arena where passion and skill collide in a display of raw determination and energy. Imagine a place where the bold question arises: what happens when you put a boxer, a wrestler, and a karate master in the same cage? This is the compelling starting point of mixed martial arts, a sport born out of curiosity and challenged by the desire to blend the might of different fighting traditions. I take you on a journey back to a time when there were no rules, no weight classes, and no boundaries, only the spirit of competition, and the craving to see which discipline could truly prevail. In these early days, fighters faced each other unfiltered, with nothing to slow them down. Every punch, every kick, every grapple was a testament to the raw potential of human skill. I see the echoes of ancient battles and modern dreams intermingling as I describe the primal roar of the crowd and the unwavering grit of the competitors. The air was charged with anticipation, and every fight was more than a contest, it was a statement of belief. As I stand today, reflecting on those fearless beginnings, I invite you to appreciate the roots of MMA not as a chaotic skirmish, but as a foundational step in the evolution of combat sports. This narrative is a personal journey through time, where every moment is painted with the excitement of discovery and the respect for the courage that has defined this art. As we set aside modern complexities, we look into the heart of the matter, focusing on the sheer beauty of the pursuit of excellence, where passion meets discipline, and the question of supremacy is met with the raw force of human endeavor. Taking a step further, I explore what mixed martial arts truly represents. MMA is a vibrant sport that uniquely combines techniques from various fighting disciplines, presenting a fascinating amalgamation of power, strategy, and skill. In this sport, fighters work tirelessly to master both striking arts like boxing, Muay Thai, and karate, and grappling arts such as wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, and Judo. Each technique, honed over years of dedication, becomes a part of a fighter's complete toolbox. I observe that the beauty of MMA lies in its inclusiveness, where no single style holds absolute power unless integrated with others. It is a journey of evolution where athletes continually learn to balance offense with defense, glide seamlessly between striking and grappling, and adapt their approaches based on the rhythm of the match. In arenas both large and small, I witness fighters pushing their limits, training in gyms that echo with the sounds of determination and discipline. Their days are filled with practice, sweat, and a relentless drive to perfect every move, every counter, and every strategy. The sport is as much a mental challenge as it is a physical one, where reading an opponent and timing a critical maneuver can change the course of a fight. I detail how every bout in MMA is a testimony to a fighter's journey of constant improvement, bridging traditional martial arts with modern techniques to create something entirely new and exhilarating. In this unfolding narrative, I find that MMA is more than just a contest of strength. It is a profound expression of the human spirit striving for excellence. With each match, the sport reminds us that versatility and perseverance are the true markers of victory. Unyielding in its challenge, MMA continues to inspire and unite enthusiasts around the world. Venturing further, I turn my gaze to the ancient world, where the seeds of MMA were first sown. Long before modern arenas and digital broadcasts, ancient civilizations engaged in raw, unyielding contests of strength and technique that would eventually shape today's combat sports. In ancient Greece, warriors demonstrated their valor in the brutal sport of pankration, a mix of boxing and wrestling that left little room for mercy. The event was as much a contest of physical might as it was a display of mental fortitude, where every move was a dance with danger. Moving eastward, I reflect upon the traditions of Japan, where samurai embraced forms of combat that evolved into jujutsu and later, judo. These arts, rooted in honor and discipline, focused on using an opponent's energy against them, emphasizing technique over brute force. I also journey to China, where kung fu masters spent lifetimes perfecting a myriad of styles. In quiet dojos and bustling town squares alike, fighters pushed the boundaries of human capability, meeting opponents in a respectful yet fierce clash of art and skill. Each ancient tradition, though distinct in its philosophy and techniques, embraced the common goal: to test the efficacy of combat in its purest form. I see these traditions as the forerunners of modern MMA, each contributing timeless principles of strategy, balance, and resilience. This exploration of ancient roots allows me to appreciate the rich heritage and evolving nature of combat sports, reminding us that every modern bout is built on the legacy of those who came before. I marvel at the enduring connection between past and present, as each ancient fighter's spirit lives on in every modern bout, echoing their timeless lessons in valor. Turning the page to the modern era, I find myself in Brazil during the early 20th century, where the landscape of combat began to shift. It is here that the Gracie family emerged as innovators, designing a new form of combat that prioritized technique, efficiency, and respect. As I wander through the historic alleys and humble training halls of Brazil, I picture the intense focus of fighters practicing Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, an art built on using leverage rather than brute strength. In those early days, the spirit of vale tudo, literally meaning anything goes, permeated every match. I see neighborhoods buzzing with excitement as fighters from diverse martial arts traditions gathered for battles that were as unpredictable as they were thrilling. The raw energy of these clashes is palpable, with each contest serving as a laboratory for learning what worked best in a real fight. I trace the journey of technique over time as the art of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu evolved into a method that could overcome size and power through skillful submission holds and well-timed maneuvers. Among these pioneers, I notice the determined figure of Rorion Gracie, whose vision transcended the borders of Brazil. His ambition to bring this innovative martial art to America marked a turning point, as he envisioned a tournament where fighters of all styles could test their abilities on an equal footing. I picture a vibrant scene filled with enthusiasm and rigorous training, where passion met perseverance and each participant strove to prove their method's superiority. This movement, born out of the unpredictable vale tudo challenges, not only redefined combat but also forged a legacy of respect, technique, and continuous improvement. I reflect on the courage and ingenuity that drove these early innovators, understanding that every practice session and every daring challenge contributed to the evolution of a sport that would go on to captivate millions. I stand in awe of these modern beginnings, feeling the pulse of history as innovation and tradition converge to create a legacy that endures with exhilarating energy. From the vibrant beginnings in Brazil, I now arrive at 1993, a year that forever altered the landscape of combat sports. In a bold and revolutionary act, the Ultimate Fighting Championship was born, shattering previous conceptions of what a competitive fight could entail. I wander through the historic accounts of those early events, recalling the raw intensity and the unfiltered displays of skill, where fighters of various disciplines converged with little regulation to test the strength of their arts. The atmosphere was wild, charged with an almost untamed energy, as competitors stepped into the cage with courage and unbridled determination. It was in this chaotic brilliance that one figure emerged to capture the world's astonishment: Royce Gracie. I see him as a symbol of quiet confidence, a fighter who utilized the refined techniques of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu to overcome opponents far larger than himself. His battles were not merely contests of might, but exhibitions of strategy, timing, and a profound understanding of leverage. As I explore the annals of early UFC events, I notice that every match was an experiment, an unscripted contest that held within it the seeds of a new era. Bruised bodies and determined smiles painted a picture of a sport in its raw and formative stage. In these moments, every successful submission and every well-executed maneuver sent ripples through the combat community, challenging old perceptions and crowning technique above brute force. I observe that the birth of the UFC marked not only the emergence of a groundbreaking tournament but also the beginning of a cultural shift in the world of martial arts. A shift that embraced the fusion of different disciplines with open arms and a shared respect for the spirit of competition. I trace the origins of this shift through the electrifying early bouts and the foundational principles that continue to guide modern MMA. Standing at the crossroads of tradition and innovation, I find that the birth of the UFC is a celebration of the relentless human drive to evolve, to test the limits of physical ability, and to honor the art of combat in its purest form. I stand immersed in the legacy of those pioneers, acknowledging each stride made, as their efforts continue to shape today's MMA with enduring impact. Moving forward, I observe how a sport once marked by raw unpredictability gradually transformed into a disciplined and structured arena. As the popularity of MMA grew, so did the need for a framework that ensured both safety and fairness. I detail the introduction of comprehensive rules that brought order to what was once an uncontrolled spectacle. Weight classes were established, and time limits imposed, while judges and referees began to guide each contest with impartial scrutiny. In this phase of evolution, fighters embraced the art of cross-training, learning not only the art of striking but also the critical techniques of grappling. I marvel at the ingenuity of athletes who balanced their training between power and precision, forging a new generation of mixed martial artists who were as strategic as they were athletic. Every improvement, every rule change, was a step toward uniting the diverse world of combat under a single banner of competitive spirit. From the introduction of banned strikes to the enforcement of fouls, the sport developed a code that preserved its core excitement while ensuring no fighter was left vulnerable to unnecessary harm. I see the transformation of the sport as a blend of ancient combat instincts with modern sporting ethics, where every participant benefits from a regulated environment that encourages skill while minimizing risk. Watching these changes unfold, I admire the mutual respect that grew among competitors. What was once a clash of brute force evolved into a sophisticated dance of strategy, resilience, and respect. I reflect on this evolution with appreciation and acknowledge that these reforms have not diluted the spirit of combat. Rather, they have refined it into a discipline that continues to inspire athletes and fans alike. I witness the evolution as a graceful union of tradition and modern ingenuity. This journey excites all. Advancing into the new millennium, I witness the explosive global rise of mixed martial arts. The sport evolves from local tournaments to a worldwide phenomenon, captivating audiences across continents and cultures. Iconic fighters such as Anderson Silva, Georges St. Pierre, John Jones, Khabib Nurmagomedov, and Conor McGregor become household names, symbols of the sport's dynamic blend of tradition and modernity. As I trace the evolution, I see how dedicated gyms expand from small community centers to internationally renowned training hubs, where mentors and aspiring athletes converge in a shared passion for combat excellence. I stroll through arenas filled with thunderous applause, where the excitement is palpable even before the first bell rings. The energy in these venues is contagious, an embodiment of collective dreams and individual determination. In each bout, I observe not just the clash of titanic skills, but also the merging of cultures as fighters bring their unique backgrounds to the cage. This fusion of styles, disciplines, and international influences creates a vibrant mosaic that transcends mere competition. I reflect on how the sport emerged from humble beginnings to become an influential cultural force, inspiring communities across the globe to embrace a spirit of unity and relentless pursuit. In every nation that adopts MMA, traditions are respected and new innovations are celebrated, highlighting a rich blend of heritage and contemporary strategy. I marvel at the rise of digital platforms that broadcast fights to millions, connecting fans in real time, and forging a global community bound by the thrill of combat. As I recount this surge in popularity, I feel the excitement of the ring merge with the heartbeat of the international crowd. The global explosion of MMA embodies both the primal call of competition and the universal quest for self-improvement, a celebration of human potential echoing in every corner of the world. With every international bout and every new generation of fighters, I feel the heartbeat of a rapidly globalizing sport. I see the legacy of traditional arts interwoven with explosive modernity, creating an arena where every match becomes a testament to passion and perseverance. This magnificent surge has redefined athletic excellence across borders, uniting diverse communities with a shared love for combat. I cherish every moment of this global martial arts revolution, indeed. Concluding this journey, I reflect on the lasting legacy of mixed martial arts. In every match, I witness the transformation of a raw contest into a disciplined form of combat that unites cultures and champions determination. The spirit of MMA lives in the unwavering resolve of fighters and their mutual respect, both inside and outside the cage. Every bout tells a story of human perseverance, where setbacks are met with courage and every fall is followed by a rise. From the ancient battlefields to modern arenas, the evolution of combat is a testament to the quest for excellence and innovation. I see how what began as an uncontrolled contest has grown into a global phenomenon built on refined technique and thoughtful strategy. This legacy inspires both athletes and fans, reminding us that true strength is measured not by a single strike, but by the courage to persist in the face of adversity. As I close, I honor the timeless principles of humility, resilience, and relentless passion for the art of combat. The story of MMA is one of continuous growth and renewed hope, a story that calls on each of us to rise again, stronger and more determined, in every challenge we face. May this enduring legacy motivate us, inspiring courage and the drive to overcome obstacles, as we carry forward the noble spirit of MMA.